jumping to another episode of Action Talk where things have been heating up. My man Thomas is 7-1 against the spread in the past 2 weeks. We're 5-2 thus far in our consensus picks, and we just went 2-1 this past Sunday. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets, where we give daily betting advice. It's free. We're not like other people who are going out and charging people for betting advice. We're giving you guys our picks, our prop bets of the day, underdogs of the day. So be sure to follow us there, and be sure to like and subscribe below. Keep up to date with all our picks. So, Thomas, since you're 7-1, you've been red hot, I got to defer to you. First game we're going is in Houston, where finally Bill O'Brien is gone. I am so happy. And they've got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming into town. Texans are favored by 6. How you feeling about this spread?
Having Romeo Crennel step in as their interim coach doesn't do anything for me. This team is terrible. Deshaun Watson is always running for his life, and he's going to be running for his life this whole season, stacking up stats at the end of the game when it doesn't matter. So I got to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans are not only are 0-4 with a normal record, but they're 0-4 against the spread this season. And, I picked them the first game of the season. I was all happy thinking that, they could cover the first game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they didn't. And I'm done with them. I was done with them then. Never betting on them, going with the Jags and Gardner Minshew.
I got to tell you here, man, I'm glad that you're a man of your word and you stuck to it. And even without that bias, I mean, you're right. I don't think that there's a head coaching change that can happen right now to fix this team. And there's not really much going to happen in the future because they gave away their picks for a couple of players that haven't made that big of an impact on that team. So let's see what happens in their future. They got some rebuilding to do, and they're tied to Deshaun Watson, who's probably going to be unhappy sooner rather than later. But like I said, man, I'm telling you, the +6, it's a juicier bet here, and it's safer. I think that, the Jags have been a team that has impressed us, short of, what we saw in the Miami game. But every other game, they've been huge underdogs. They've covered the spread, and they've looked good. So got to go with Gardner Minshew in the +6. The Texans have been miserable here. And like you said, man, they're 0-4 against the spread. I don't think this is going to be the week that they start doing right.
Yeah, and like I said, last week I was saying that I wasn't a big Gardner Minshew guy. I'm still not, but Romeo Crennel has been awful at every stop that he's been at, and he's just another Bill Belichick disciple, like Bill O'Brien was. That's where he came from. This isn't going to be a good season for them. Their season's over.
So Miami's in a very good position next year with some solid draft position, but I mean, that's going to be a fun team to look at in the future. We're not talking them this week. Fortunately, they're not too fun to talk about this season. But looking ahead, Dolphins are going to have some fun with the Houston Texans picks. Going from bad GMs and bad coaches and bad interim coaches, let's go to pretty bad quarterback and a really overpaid one in Carson Wentz. It's the battle for Pennsylvania here. We got the Eagles going to Pittsburgh. 7-point spread for the Steelers. Thomas, how you feeling about this one?
Man, the Eagles and their injuries, man, they have the most interesting injury report week to week. I never know who's new, who's hurt, who's playing until Sunday. They pop up with injuries every week. And that offensive line has been a sieve this season. It's terrible. And the Steelers are second in the NFL in sacks, and they didn't even play this Sunday. So that tells you that this team can get after the quarterback with T.J. Watt and those boys, and I'm laying those points. That's easy. 7 points, whatever. I'm going with the Steelers, man. Oh, wait. Wait a sec.
Oh,
here we go.
You got to break it out. Let's go.
Oh, it's upside down. Bust it out, man. I'm on the Steelers bandwagon this weekend.
Let's go. I mean, it's not the first time you whipped it out, man. It seems like you've been on the Steelers bandwagon. They're undefeated, so seems like pretty soon you're going to start taking down those Adrian Peterson and Randy Moss pictures and start putting some Troy Polamalu and Mean Joe Green up there. I don't know, man. So it's looking like. I can lend you Joe Green or Jerome Bettis, whichever one you want. You let me know. I got a nice stack here. But even with all the Steelers memorabilia and my fan base and my fandom, not my fan base, my fandom, I got to go with the Eagles +7. I think the Steelers win the game, but we're a team that the Steelers just always play down to the level of competition. We never are able to take care of the bad teams. And this is a bad team that has some talent that I think we might overlook. So you saw how close the Broncos game was with a backup quarterback and no Von Miller. this is a depleted team. But if Carson Wentz has one of those games where he looks like Carson Wentz, the good Carson Wentz, they can cover the spread. So I'm going with the Eagles +7 here.
I'm just so worried about Carson Wentz. Not that I really care because I'm not an Eagle fan, but he's taken 14 sacks this year. So that means he's, A, holding on the ball too long, and B, his offensive line is getting destroyed. And you know your boys can get after the quarterback. So I got to go with the better quarterback and the fearsome defense that you guys have.
I hear you. I think the Eagles' defensive line looked really good against the 49ers, and the 49ers are a pretty solid O-line. So our O-line's a little banged up. I think, they can get out their band and disrupt them a bit. He is someone that can make some mistakes when he gets pressured, man. He gets rattled very easily, and Ben's the kind of guy that when he throws one pick, there's usually going to be a second one coming after that. So if Ben's turning the ball over, which I think it might be one of those games, it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a close one. I still think we squeak out a 4-point win here. I'm definitely going to do some kind of weird 1-6 Steelers win 1-6 bet, but got to go with the Eagles +7 here, man. Got to fade you, which I don't know why I'm fading you because in the past 2 weeks, me fading you doesn't look good, but whatever. I'm going to bounce back from a 1-3 week.
So let's stay in the AFC North and let's go to Cleveland where the Colts are taking on the Cleveland Browns. Colts are 1.5-point favorites. This line was moving down all day. I saw it at 2.5. So maybe people are starting to believe in Baker Mayfield. What do you got here, man? What do you think about your division rival?
Rival or not, I got to take my bias out of it. I love home underdogs, and this is a team that's been looking good, and I think the Colts have been getting really lucky in these wins. Phillip Rivers talking a lot of shit, and he's not really backing it up too much himself. It's really a lot of good coaching, really good defense, really, really good run play, and exquisite offensive line play. So not a lot of Phillip Rivers. I think this is going to be a week where he's going to get lit up by Myles Garrett, your boy for comeback player of the year. And I got to go with the home underdog, take that +105, take that money line. What about you, Thomas?
Yeah, I think the Colts 3-game win streak that they got going on right now ends this week. So I'm taking the Browns 1.5-point underdogs. Probably will sprinkle them in with the money line because you're getting the plus juice there. Yeah. And yeah, Myles Garrett, co-leader in sacks right now. He's up there in sacks. He's looking good. Odell came alive last game. I know it's against the Cowboys and their defense is awful, but maybe he's waking up a little bit. And I really like this team. And like you said, Phillip Rivers hasn't done anything. I think you can make a montage of me just talking crap about Phillip Rivers since we've started this show. Just, Phillip Rivers, he sucks, he's overrated, most overrated. Like, I still think that. I can't believe how lucky this team is to be on this 3-game win streak with Phillip Rivers not doing anything. The defense is ranked number 1, but I still don't believe that number. It just doesn't make sense. You got Xavier Rhodes out there as a starting cornerback. I don't understand it. I think it ends this weekend.
They do have a pretty good pass rush, so it does help the secondary that, does look weak at times. But the Colts just have a really good team around Phillip Rivers. They're throwing ducks. I mean, I don't know what the Bears were doing last week. They're playing some really off coverage. Even late in the game when they still had a chance. And he was just throwing ducks in there. He looked like Peyton Manning in the last year of his career when he was benched for Brock Osweiler. Like, it looked like that, man. Like, slow. Like, I just couldn't believe it. But I think the Browns are hungry. They've got something to prove. These are a bunch of guys that got a chip on their shoulder. OBJ underperformed last year. Baker did last year. They're coming off a huge, 49 points they put up? I think the offense is going to keep rolling, so got to take the home underdog +105 here, man.
I'm with you on that, man. And so let's go to the primetime game on Sunday Night Football. We have my Minnesota Vikings going out to Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are 7-point favorites at home. Who do you like here?
Let me just say the spread makes sense with the way Russell Wilson's been playing. He's been lights out and dominant, but I think this is a little bit of a trap game. I don't know. I'm getting that feel that the Seahawks defense is going to get a little exposed, and this might be the week that the Vikings offense gets rolling. gets rolling, not gets it rolling. Goodness, I'm all over the place today. But on those primetime lights, I think those Vikings are going to perform. So my bet is going to be Vikings +7. But I'm definitely going to sprinkle some of that, plus 265? Yeah, I'm going to sprinkle that in some of my parlays. Definitely going to be my underdog parlays. But even in some of my money line lock parlays, I'm going to sprinkle them in there, man. How are you feeling about your team?
Well, man, just like you're fading your team this weekend, I'm fading mine. Both these defenses are god awful. The Seahawks have the worst rated defense yardage wise in the NFL, and the Vikings are like 30 or 29, something like that. So it's going to come down to who's the best quarterback, in my opinion. And of course, it's Russell Wilson. He's playing like the MVP that you called in the beginning of the season. I got to give you credit there. And Kirk Cousins he's Kirk Cousins. You kind of know what you're going to get with him. He's going to be up, he's going to be down, he's going to be having a little bit of pressure, and when he's not comfortable, he doesn't play well. And I just don't see the Vikings going out there winning or covering the spread. The Vikings are 0-6 all time against Russell Wilson. If you can believe that, that's crazy. That's just like Tom Brady destroys the Vikings every time we play them. So elite quarterbacks against the Vikings historically just dominate them, and I just don't see Vikings covering or winning this game.
I definitely think they covered. That stat does scare me a little bit. Might not sprinkle them as much as I thought I was going to sprinkle them. That does scare me, but I definitely think this game the Vikings covered. Maybe they get a backdoor cover late, but I just think there's going to be a shootout. I think somehow it's crazy with these bad defenses and me thinking it's going to be a shootout and whatnot. I still think I'm going to take the under of 58 here. We don't really do totals here. Just throwing it out there. I think I'm going to take the under of 58. But I think the Vikings cover. I really like that +7. So that's my pick. What do you got?
I'm staying away from that over-under, man. These defenses are both awful. So it could get into like a little crazy shootout. It happened last year too, like out of nowhere. These guys just all started throwing bombs. The Vikings trying to stay in this, but and the Vikings haven't won in Seattle since 2006. Adrian Peterson wasn't even on that team. So it's been a long time coming, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is the guy that's going to go out there and do it. So I know we got to disagree on some of these, and that's just one of them that we're going to have to disagree on.
Yeah, well, there it is. And, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, we got to have a little bit of tension here on the show. If not, it's all roses and butterflies and whatnot. We don't want any of that nonsense. This is gambling. Like I said earlier, we say shit. We say whatever we want. We put the SpongeBob sound effect. We don't, whatever we want to do. We make our own beef jerky. But that's that. Thomas, go ahead and give me your best bet of the week.
Well, my best bet of the week are the Seattle Seahawks -7. I know it's a big number, but this whole weekend is crazy with the big numbers. So I'm going to lay those 7 points. Let me see. I have the stat right here. Kirk Cousins is 8-15-1 in primetime games. I don't know what his record is covering, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks -7.
It's a big spread, but you're right. Kirk Cousins is pretty pathetic on those bright lights, but no fans or limited fans might make a bit of a difference. I don't know. We'll see. I'm definitely fading you on that one. But my best bet for this week, I go with the Jags +6 and -105. I think it's really juicy. And like I said, I just don't think it's going to be a 6-point game either way. And I don't think Romeo Crennel is going to be the answer to the Texans' problems. And there's not going to be an answer for a couple of seasons. So got to go with the Jags +6 here. What's your best underdog or your underdog pick of the week here, Thomas?
It's weird. I think like every other week, it's my underdog is your best bet. So my underdog are the Jags. I think they're getting +225 on the money line. I have to like what you just said. Crennel's not going to do anything, and I know I'm not the biggest Gardner Minshew guy, but you know what? I do have a Bud Light right here just for Gardner Minshew. I don't think he actually drinks that seltzer. This is more of a Post Malone vibe right here. Yeah, but, hey, it's Bud Light, so I'll be popping this and watching them beat the Texans this weekend.
I love it. And be bumming some Post Malone while you do it, of course. I mean, with the way my best bets have been going, you might want that to be your underdog of the week, so might be a good bet there. My underdog of the week, if Justin Herbert starts, I like the Chargers at plus 285. This is a defense I was able to contain Patrick Mahomes, not stop, but contain Patrick Mahomes and keep it tight and keep him in the game for all 4 quarters and then some. And we saw what they did against the Bucs, keeping it close. Got a pick 6 against Brady early, which I know he's been throwing a lot of those lately, but Drew Brees hasn't been that impressive. So I think they could get under Drew Brees' skin, get some pressure, and I don't know. I think I like that plus 285 if Justin Herbert starts. Tyrod Taylor's starting. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching the spread. Not messing with that game, period. Not even going the Saints way. If Tyrod Taylor starts, then I got to go the Vikings plus 265, man. Love that money line. So a little double whammy there on the picks. Had to give you guys a little double whammy because I'm a degenerate. But to get serious here, if you guys do have a gambling problem, please be sure to call 1-800-522-4700. It's a nationwide hotline. They'll be sure to help you find some resources locally and help you out with any issues you might be experiencing. And please be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Action Talk Bets. And please be sure to like and subscribe below.